Long before memory learned how to speak, the land breathed in a slow and steady way. The sky rested low and wide, painted with pale clouds that drifted like tired animals. The ground was rough, cracked by age, yet alive with hidden warmth. Tall grasses bent in soft waves, and distant trees stood like patient watchers. This was a time when the world moved without hurry, and every sound carried meaning. Wind through stone, water over bone, fire whispering to night. Life existed close to the earth, and the earth answered back. Near a bend in a wide river lived a tribe that knew the land as a body knows its own scars. They rose with the sun and slept when darkness covered the hills. Their shelters were shaped from mud, bone, and wood, pressed together by careful hands. Smoke climbed upward each evening, thin and gray, carrying the smell of roasted roots and hunted meat. Children traced circles in the dust while elders watched the horizon. Everything followed a rhythm learned over many seasons. The people of the tribe believed the land remembered them. Every stone had a story, every tree a mood. They spoke little, using looks and gestures more than sound. When words came, they were slow and deep, chosen like precious tools. Life was not easy, but it was known. Hunger came and left. Cold bit and softened. Fear walked beside them, but never ahead. Yet beneath the calm surface, a quiet unease lived. It showed itself in small moments. A hunter would pause before crossing a certain path. A gatherer would turn away from a cave without knowing why. At night, the fire sometimes crackled too sharply, and eyes lifted toward the dark hills. The tribe did not speak of these feelings. They had learned that naming fear could give it weight. There was a place beyond the river where no one went. The grass there grew darker, thicker, tangled in strange patterns. Bones lay half buried, not always shaped like animals. The air felt heavy, as if it pressed back when breathed in. Long ago, the elders had marked this land with stone signs and quiet warnings. It was not forbidden by anger, but by sorrow. The tribe survived by staying together. When one stumbled, another reached out. When storms came, bodies pressed close for warmth. This closeness was their strength, and also their question. Because sometimes, in the safety of togetherness, shadows grew. As seasons passed, the river shrank, and food became harder to find. The animals moved farther away. Roots dried in the ground. The tribe felt hunger stretch longer each day. Children cried more often, and elders' eyes grew tired. The problem was simple and heavy. There was not enough. Whispers began near the fire, carried by looks rather than sound. The dark land beyond the river returned to memory. It was said that life once came easily there. That the ground itself gave back more than it took. No one could remember who first said it, only that the idea settled like a stone in the chest. The tribe faced a choice they did not yet understand. And the land, old and patient, waited. The hunger did not roar. It pressed slowly, like hands tightening around a bowl that once overflowed. Each morning, fewer people left the shelters with hope in their steps. The river still flowed, but fish were scarce. The sky still shone, but warmth could not fill empty bellies. The tribe adapted as they always had, sharing smaller portions, resting longer, speaking even less. One evening, as shadows stretched thin across the ground, the elders gathered closer to the fire. Flames painted their faces in moving lines, carving years into skin already marked by time. They listened to the wind and to each other's breathing. At last, a thought moved among them, not spoken, but understood. The dark land was no longer just a memory. It was a possibility. Crossing the river felt like crossing into another world. The water was colder there, deeper, tugging at legs with quiet strength. On the far side, the grass swallowed sound. Every step felt watched. Yet, there was life. Small animals moved through the brush. Roots were thick and rich beneath the soil. The land offered what the tribe needed. They returned with full hands and uneasy hearts. That night, food was shared, and silence tasted different. Relief mixed with something else, something harder to name. The elders watched the faces around the fire, seeing both gratitude and fear reflected in the flames. Days turned into weeks, and trips across the river became common. The tribe learned paths through the dark land, places where the ground was soft and the air less heavy. Hunger loosened its grip. Children laughed again. Strength returned to tired limbs. On the surface, balance was restored. But the land asked for something in return. It began subtly. A hunter did not return one night. His path ended near a cave marked by old stones. The tribe searched, calling softly, then louder, until only echoes answered. They mourned, believing the land had taken him. Loss was not new, but this felt different. The air around the cave seemed to breathe. Soon after, another was lost. Then another. Always near the same place. The tribe avoided the cave, yet still crossed the land. Survival demanded it. The elders spoke in low tones, recalling old stories once half forgotten. Stories of a pact made in desperation. Stories of offering. The dark secret of the tribe was not written in stone, but in habit. Long ago, when hunger had threatened to end them, the tribe had learned a terrible exchange. The land gave life, but only if life was given back. Not animals. Not fire. Something closer. The truth weighed heavily, even unspoken. Some remembered through dreams. Others felt it in their bones. The tribe had survived by choosing who would not. Over generations, the knowledge faded, buried under silence and time. Now it surfaced again, slow and cruel. The gentle twist was not in what the tribe had done, but in how they felt about it. There was no joy, no pride. Only sorrow wrapped in necessity. The land did not demand cruelty. It demanded balance, as it always had. And the tribe stood again at the edge of choice. The fire burned lower each night, as if listening. Faces around it grew thinner, eyes deeper. The tribe could no longer pretend ignorance. Loss had patterns now. Whispers moved more freely, shaped by fear and memory. The elders knew the secret must be faced, or it would consume them from within. They gathered the tribe near the river, where the world felt more open. The sky stretched wide above them, pale and patient. The elders spoke slowly, choosing words like stones placed carefully in a circle. They told the old story. Of hunger. Of fear. Of the pact made with the land. Each sentence fell into the silence like a heavy drop of water. The tribe listened, hearts pounding. Some felt anger rise. Others felt shame. Many felt understanding. Survival had always carried a cost. This one was simply harder to bear. The problem was no longer hunger alone, but who they had become. Could they continue this exchange and live with themselves? Or could they find another way, even if it meant leaving the land they knew? The land beyond the river seemed to watch them now, grasses moving without wind. The cave waited, dark and still. The tribe felt the pull of old habits, the ease of choosing the known path. But something had changed. They had spoken the truth aloud. Silence no longer protected them. A gentle shift occurred, not in action, but in thought. The elders proposed a different offering. Instead of life taken without voice, they would listen. They would learn what the land truly needed, not what fear assumed. They returned to the dark land, not as hunters, but as listeners. They sat near the cave, breathing slowly, feeling the ground beneath them. Time stretched. Nothing happened at first. Then, subtle signs appeared. Small tremors. Changes in the air. The land responded to presence, not sacrifice. They realized the land had never demanded death. It had responded to imbalance. When the tribe took without care, the land answered in kind. The losses were not offerings, but warnings. Understanding spread through the tribe like warmth. Guilt softened into resolve. They changed how they lived. They took less. They moved more often. They allowed areas to rest. The dark land grew lighter, its grass thinning, its air easing. The cave became just a cave again. Seasons passed, and the tribe settled into a new rhythm. Life remained hard, but honest. Hunger still came, but it no longer ruled. The tribe had learned to listen, not only to the land, but to each other. Decisions were shared. Silence became a place of rest, not hiding. Children grew with stories that held truth, not fear. Elders watched with calmer eyes. The river flowed as it always had, carrying memory forward. The dark land slowly lost its weight, becoming simply another part of the world. The tribe's dark secret did not vanish. It transformed. It became a lesson carried carefully, spoken when needed. They remembered how close they had come to losing themselves in survival alone. They remembered that life, even millions of years ago, was more than endurance. In the end, there was no triumph, only balance. The land breathed, and the tribe breathed with it. The world remained vast and slow, and within it, a small group of lives found a way to belong without forgetting the cost. And so the land continued to remember them, not for what they had taken, but for what they had learned to give back.